Thank you, Christina. I don't think I could have paid for a better introduction, so thank you for that. I like this introductory slide. That piece of drill core you can see there is from our recent drilling at Trafalgar last year. It's running at about 150 grams per tonne gold. The actual piece of core is back at my booth, booth 81, so if you'd like to come and have a look at it later on. There's a bit of visible gold in that, and we're running a bit of a raffle, so you can look at the core and enter the champagne raffle at the same time. Moving on to more serious things, there's our disclaimer, so we'll let you read that in your leisure. So Flynn Gold was listed in June 2021, just coming up for 2 years now. We're a company which is focused on exploration and development of gold and battery metal projects in Tasmania and Western Australia being our focus. All of our projects are 100% owned. We've got a significant package in Western Australia which we've been acquiring, but our focus has been very much in Tasmania, where we've got projects both in the west of Tasmania at Zeehan, where we're looking at zinc, and up in the northeast of Tasmania, where we've got a big package of ground chasing gold, but also tin. To date, we've been drilling mainly in northeast Tasmania. We think we've got an exciting gold discovery there at Golden Ridge, and this morning, as Christina mentioned, we've just updated the market with some additional results which have come in from some of the earlier work we've done. Corporate snapshot. Today, Flynn has 134 million shares roughly on issue. Our cash at bank at the end of March was $5 million. That followed a successful capital raising based on the back of some results we put out, including that 152 grammer back in December. We were able to raise $3.8 million at 10 cents, and that's given us enough cash to carry on doing what we want to be doing. And really at market cap of 10 million with 5 million in the bank, we think Flynn is a definite buy at the moment. So since listing the company, our focus, as I've mentioned, has been on exploration in northeast Tasmania. We're targeting high-grade gold. We've achieved some excellent results to date. We're really looking for a company making a discovery. As you would know, over across the other side of the Bass Strait, Victoria is one of the richest gold provinces in the world. The players there exploring heavily, looking for the next Fosterville, and we think actually that the next Fosterville could easily be found in northeast Tasmania, and I'll explain that further as we go. But Tasmania seems to be ignored for numerous reasons. I don't know why. I've been talking to people over the last few months since my appointment, and I get the perception that a lot of people think that Tasmania is an unattractive jurisdiction for exploring and mining investment. I think the greenie perception is probably what's driving that, and in reality, nothing could be further from the truth. When it comes to land access, is land access a problem? No, is what I say. We're exploring in forestry land, which is controlled by the states, but also on private land, and to date we've had no difficulty getting onto the ground and doing work. Is the government supportive? Well, you can see in that photo there, the Minister of Mines, the Honourable Felix Ellis, a West Australian, mind you, was visiting our site. He was in Scottsdale on a cabinet meeting in September last year. I met him in the evening before, and he was very keen to come around and have a look at what we were doing at Scottsdale the following morning, so he broke from his schedule just to come and visit us, which I thought was really impressive and demonstrates that the highest level of government in Tasmania, they are supportive of what we're doing. The MRT, the agency that runs a regulation of the mining industry, is very responsive. It's full of experienced public servants who can turn around an application to go and drill in a matter of days, not a matter of months. Being an island, people think that drilling rigs and things like that may not be available for exploration, but Tasmania's got a deep resource industry, and there's plenty of contractors and there's plenty of staff available. All of our crew are residents of Tasmania, We've got 5 geologists working out of Scottsdale at the moment. Is infrastructure a problem? Well, in Tasmania, you're not far from a port, a highway, an airport. There's good roads everywhere, so getting around and doing things and supporting them is really not a problem at all. And what about the local community? What's the view of the locals? Well, in Scottsdale, we've had nothing but support from the local industry and businesses there. Everyone wants to see development happen. Northeast Tasmania is pretty much forestry and agriculturally based at the moment, but also with fishing and aquaculture going on in the area. The people there are very pro-resource development and pro-primary industries. So there's no problems at all for us as far as Tasmania. In actual fact, I think it's easier for us to be exploring in Tasmania now than a lot of other states of Australia, which is a surprising thing to say when I come from Western Australia, which is has had a history of being the premier location for exploration. So on a technical merits basis, Tasmania, as I said, we're looking for the next Victorian high-grade gold deposit there, another Fosterville if you like, and geologically there is merit in that. The Victorian goldfields and northeast Tasmania are both part of the Lachlan origin. Both have similarly aged rocks. The deposits there are of a similar age and also the grade. So Beaconsfield, the mine you've probably all heard about for various reasons, has been, it's not in production at the moment, but it's produced about 2 million ounces of gold, an average grade of 15 grams per tonne to date. Whilst many companies have stayed away from Tasmania, that's allowed us to assemble an impressive tenement holding there in the northeast. You can see the tenements shown there on the map, which gives you some sense of scale for the whole island of Tasmania. And not only is there gold on our ground, there's also tin and tungsten. So whilst I won't be talking about that today, and you can come and chat with us later about that, there's certainly a lot of potential for that. Northeast Tasmania is actually probably better known for its tin mines, but the first gold that was discovered in Tasmania was at the Mathena gold mine. At the Mangana gold mine, which is down here on our ground. That was discovered in 1852, about the same time as the Victorian gold rush and the New South Wales gold rush, so there was probably a little bit of less people around to pursue it, but still, over the following years, they produced over 270,000 ounces of alluvial gold at the Lyell gold field up here, which is also on our ground. Hard rock mining was a little bit limited. The gold miners who were there did focus mainly on the shallow, easily obtained free gold. They didn't have any processing plants to put their ore through other than using simple sluicing or gravity methods. The one exception to that was at a place called New Golden Gate in the Mathena goldfield, shown here, just north of our ground. That mined from 1887 to 1926 and produced over 250,000 ounces at an impressive 26 grams per tonne gold. They were mining down to a depth of about 470 metres, chasing narrow but high-grade vein system. So the fact that that mine was in production 100 years ago demonstrates to us the potential for deep, high-grade gold in northeast Tasmania. So since we listed, we've focused on 2 areas, Portland, which is up the top here. We've done some drilling up there. But most of our work and sort of the success we're getting is at a place called Golden Ridge, which is over here. We're currently drilling at Golden Ridge, and as I said, or as Christina mentioned, we've got an announcement out to date which is updating that. Golden Ridge shows all the signs of being a large intrusive related gold system. There's historical workings there at Brilliant and Trafalgar, and there's other lesser workings at a number of other areas shown there on the map. The area is about 8 kilometres long, which we've got prospective for gold, and really we've just started to scratch the surface. We've done drilling at Brilliant, We've done drilling at Trafalgar, which we're talking about now, and also at a few other prospects doing some reconnaissance scout drilling. We've intersected good mineralisation at Brilliant, and that needs further work. Obviously, the drilling at these other locations is providing us with a lot of encouragement about the potential for the whole area. And really what we're trying to do is to build up a camp scale gold resource in that area. To Trafalgar itself, so we've drilled 7 holes in the first phase of drilling there. We're on to the second phase now. The second hole of the second phase is currently being drilled. And you can see there some of the high grade intervals we've received to date. First hole was hole 2, which was targeting a hole drilled about a decade ago by the last explorers, who intersected 5 metres at over 12 grams per tonne. You can see that hole here, which was drilled under the old shaft from the old timers. We put hole 2 back underneath that. We hit about 4 zones of mineralisation, the best one of those being over 5 metres at over 10 grams per tonne. We then drilled holes 3 and 4 to the west, about 100 metres, picked up some really good results there. In hole 3, we intersected 1.2 metres at 65.9, which included half a metre at 143. And that was in a massive sulphide quartz vein, just 57 metres down the hole. We then stepped across to the east and put it another 100 metres to the east of hole 2. At hole 5, we drilled that, and that's where we've started to have some stellar results. And then what we're drilling here is the contact with the granites and the sediments. Holes 3 and 4 were all in the granites, hitting gold. Holes 5, right out in the sediments, hitting gold. So we're really impressed with the fact we're getting gold on both sides of the contact. In hole 5, we hit a spectacular zone of quartz vein with semi-massive sulphides with visible gold, and that included, that was down at about 120 metres depth. So that assayed at 12.3 metres at 16.8 grams per tonne. Of course, the drill rig burnt its drill bit out drilling through that high-grade zone, so they had to change the drill bit, and when they put the hole back, or the drill string back down the hole, it started drilling an independent hole. So we got hole 5B, we pushed on down 384 metres. That's intersected a similar grade next to the parent hole, 14.7 at 5.5 there. And right down the bottom, we hit some visible gold in a vein, which is 2.3 metres running at 19 grams per tonne. So we've been selectively assaying the intervals to date, and now we've actually just announced today the latest result, which is sampling right down at the bottom of the hole. Actually, a metre above the bottom of the hole, we received 3.5 metres at 8.33 grams per tonne. So we've got 2 metres of that is sitting at 13.75 grams per tonne. I think the geologists are probably thinking we might have needed to drill a bit further on that hole now. So what we're doing is we're modifying our drilling program. You can see hole 8 here. Hole 8 here, which we drilled and we're waiting on the results on, as with hole 7. We're extending that hole down here to test the eastern extension of that interval we've just intersected. So moving quickly along, you can see those new results in yellow there, with the result right at the bottom of the hole here. So we've got high-grade veins down here. We've got multiple intervals now, and it's really starting to shape as having the scale which we think could lead to an economic project. We've got sampling still going on through the labs, and drill hole 10, as you can see, we've drilled down to about here at the moment as of last night, and we'll extend that and probably keep going a little bit further. That's about 20 metres off section and about 60 metres down dip of here. So we're looking forward to seeing how that pans out over the next few days. So finally, that's the board. You can have a look at that later on, but we've got a good management team. I'm very proud to be their new managing director, and it's really a pleasure to work with the team we've got at Flynn. And in closing, we've got a pipeline of high-grade projects in northeast Tasmania. Golden Ridge is leading the charge. We're hitting good gold mineralisation, and we'll keep on chasing that. We've got a significant portfolio of other assets which I can talk to you about later on if you'd like to come and see us at our booth. and we've got money, so we can do what we need to do. Thank you for your attention.
Good on you.